Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're a busy entrepreneur, you already know the grind. You're probably completely exhausted by that relentless, labor-intensive hustle. Well, the material we're looking at today actually suggests that traditional hustle culture, it might finally be dead. Yep, gone. Instead, we're introduced to something way more exciting, the high-margin, ultra-low effort system culture of 2026. Today, we're going to dive right into the data and strategies laid out in these sources, unpacking a complete playbook for building your very own automated, tech-driven retail empire.
It's honestly fascinating when you contrast these two models side by side. On one hand, you've got the traditional reality, high effort, razor thin margins. You know the drill, managing employees, wrestling with payroll, bleeding cash on heavy overhead, and basically putting out operational fires all day long. But on the flip side, the sources describe system culture. This is a massive, fundamental shift. Imagine AI-powered smart vending and cloud-managed hardware doing literally all the heavy lifting. Human sweat equity is totally replaced. We're talking about a model designed from the ground up to generate passive income through smart tech, meaning you can scale up your revenue without multiplying your own working hours.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with a welcome to system culture, then look at the 3 rules of automation, explore high-yield kiosk options, talk about securing prime locations, and finally, wrap up with scaling your automated fleet.
Let's kick things off with part 1. Welcome to system culture and this whole 2026 mindset shift. Which leads us perfectly into part 2, the 3 rules of automation, and how to actually build a passive foundation.
To really wrap our heads around this foundational mindset shift, the sources lay out 3 absolute, non-negotiable rules. These are what separate a full-time job in disguise from a genuinely passive asset. If a business model doesn't hit these 3 marks, walk away. Seriously. Rule number 1, minimal operational friction. A properly automated business should take up maybe 2 to 4 hours of your week, tops. You should be checking a digital dashboard on your phone while having your morning coffee, not sweeping floors or managing a team. Rule 2, rapid return on investment. In today's fast-moving economy, capital velocity is literally everything. The playbook stresses that you need to get your initial money back in under 12 months, so you can turn around and reinvest it right away. And rule 3, tech-enabled self-service. The entire customer journey, from picking an item to paying for it and getting it delivered, has to be 100% autonomous. When the customer does all the work themselves, your ongoing labor costs just evaporate to absolute zero. Moving right along to Section 3, high-yield kiosk options, or as I like to call them, your automated vehicles. Okay, so what does this hardware actually look like out in the wild? Let's get into the numbers. Check this out. $1,200. That is the average monthly revenue for Sandstar's smart commercial units when they're dropped into high-traffic areas. Today's consumers want instant gratification, right? So when you put advanced smart vending right in front of a captive audience, those numbers scale incredibly fast. Think about it. You're looking at 30 to 50% profit margins on everyday snacks and beverages. Oh, and these machines never sleep. They are open for business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without requiring a single employee on payroll. When you factor all that in, the financial efficiency of this model becomes super clear. But hey, the playbook extends way beyond potato chips and soda. 24. That represents the incredibly rapid average return on investment, and yeah, that's measured in days, not months, for GoBear's custom mobile accessory machines. It's almost staggering how fast that is. These compact AI-powered kiosks sit in premium shopping malls and let customers design and print their own custom phone cases right on the spot. Why does it work so well? Well, you're tapping into a massive $150 billion global phone accessory market with a product that boasts 80% profit margins. Plus, here's a huge bonus. Blank phone cases don't expire. You completely eliminate the headache and risk of food spoilage, all while running one of the highest profit per square foot machines available today. And operating in the modern experience economy provides yet another amazing avenue. 15 is the magic number here. That's the exact number of event bookings it generally takes for operators of AI-integrated photo booths to make back their entire initial capital investment. The strategy here revolves around charging premium rates for private parties or corporate events, usually anywhere from $400 to $1,200 a pop. And since the final photos are beamed straight to the user's phone digitally, your cost of goods sold is practically zero. You aren't paying for ink, paper jams, or manufacturing. It is a pure, tech-driven service that keeps your net profit margins incredibly high.
You know, the technological leap from yesterday's hardware to today's fleet is just profound. Standard vending was notoriously tedious. It meant doing manual inventory counts, driving out for blind scheduled restocks, where you'd open up a machine only to find it was already totally full, and using static labels that couldn't adapt to consumer habits. But smart commercial vending, it operates in a completely different universe. We're talking real-time Internet of Things alerts, meaning you only ever send someone out for a restock when the data tells you the machine is genuinely running low. On top of that, the software actually uses AI upselling to automatically boost basket sizes right at the point of sale. It transforms the machine from a passive, dumb dispenser into a highly proactive, invisible employee that perfectly executes sales for you around the clock. All right, let's pivot to part 4, securing prime locations to maximize your daily traffic. Look, you could have the most advanced AI-powered hardware in the world, but it's totally useless without the right real estate and high daily foot traffic. Sandstar's data makes it crystal clear you have to match specific consumer psychology with tailored products. If you drop a machine in a corporate office, stocking it with protein bars and coffee pods perfectly targets that dreaded mid-afternoon energy slump. That setup alone reliably generates between $800 and $1,600 a month. Or take a university campus. Students desperately need late-night study fuel, so load it up with energy drinks and chips, and you could pull in up to $2,000 a month. And at a gym or fitness center, post-workout recovery items like protein shakes and jerky reliably hit that $600 to $1,200 mark. Tailoring your inventory directly to the daily habits of the specific location is the absolute secret to ensuring bulletproof recurring revenue. So how do you actually get your machines into these prime spots? It comes down to a really specific, frictionless pitch strategy. Imagine walking into a Target location that sees at least 100 daily visitors. Instead of acting like you're asking for a favor, you're offering a seamless win-win partnership right to the decision maker face-to-face. The playbook recommends offering the venue a 10 to 20% commission on your gross sales. But here is the absolute clincher of this pitch. You heavily emphasize that this requires zero cost and absolutely zero effort from their existing staff. You handle the inventory. The machine takes care of all the transactions, and the venue just sits back, collects a passive profit share, and provides a brand new modern amenity to their building. It's a total no-brainer for them. Which brings us to our final section, Part 5, scaling your automated fleet from a single successful kiosk to a full-blown empire. This final phase outlined in the sources is all about execution and momentum. Month 1 is definitely your most active period. That's when you're hustling to secure your first 2 to 3 locations and getting the initial hardware deployed. By month 3, your smart software is actively feeding you all this incredible consumer data. You use that period to track trends and optimize your inventory, making absolutely sure you are only stocking the fastest-moving items. Then, by month 6, you take that reliable cash flow from your optimized machines and reinvest it straight into new units. It creates this amazing compounding snowball effect. The ultimate goal, month 12. That's when you aim to hit the 15 to 25 machine milestone. The data specifically highlights this threshold because a highly optimized route of 15 to 25 machines generally generates enough reliable net cash flow to entirely replace a traditional 9-to-5 salary, permanently altering your financial landscape. The tools, the demographic data, the futuristic hardware, everything we've unpacked from these sources is readily available right now. The research heavily points toward a fast-approaching marketplace where that exhausting traditional manual labor is increasingly being replaced by smart, interconnected systems that just effortlessly do the work for you in the background. So, looking at the playbook we've just explored today, it leaves us with one final thought-provoking question. Are you ready to build your automated fleet? Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope you found this deep dive into system culture as eye-opening and motivating as I did. Catch you next time!